defeating both teams in a 7-game series, earning the Celtics their first finals appearance since 2010. The Celtics took a lead but lost the next 3 games to the Golden State Warriors. But a new regime has begun in Boston as general manager Danny Ainge has left and former head coach Brad Stevens has stepped into his role. This will hopefully produce better results than getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. Now let's take a look to the Boston Celtics official lineup for the upcoming 22-23 season.
Center: Luke Cornett. Boston Celtics center Luke Cornett will head back to the Celtics on a 2-year contract. Appeared in 12 regular season contests with the Celtics down the stretch, averaging just 2.2 points and 2.1 boards across 7.1 minutes per game. The 7 feet 2 inches big man previously made 18 appearances with the team in 2020-21, and he serves as valuable frontcourt depth in Boston. While Cornett isn't likely to have any season-long appeal, he could land on the radar on nights if the team is shorthanded at center. Center: Robert Williams III. Boston Celtics center Robert Williams is good to go after continuing to deal with left knee soreness throughout the season. He's reportedly had his knee drained several times recently. Williams is entering the first season of a 4-year $54 million contract. He averaged 10.0 points and 9.6 rebounds and 2.2 blocks per game while shooting 73.6% from the field in the 2021-22 regular season. Power forward: Al Horford. Boston Celtics forward Horford was a major factor during the team's playoff run last season. He averaged 10.2 points and 7.7 rebounds and 3.4 assists. The 34-year-old is expected to be held out during back-to-back sets. It is also rumored that the organization wants to limit Horford playing time. Fantasy managers should expect Horford to continue being the factor in Boston. Power forward: Danilo Gallinari. Free agent Danilo Gallinari is agreed to sign with 2-year $13.3 million deal in Boston. Danilo was included in the package that sent DeJounte Murray to Atlanta. He was waived by the Spurs shortly after. Gallinari's contract is fully guaranteed, and he also has a player option for the 2nd year. He averaged 11.7 points and shot 38.1% from deep last season. Power forward: Grant Williams. Boston Celtics forward Grant Williams finished the game with a game-high 27 points during the Game 7 crucial win over Bucks last season. Williams led both teams in scoring, with his mighty 7-4-18 shooting from deep. So there's a good chance Grant Williams can continue to get minutes to the upcoming 22-23 NBA season. Power forward: Mfiondu Kabengele. Celtics signed Mfiondu Kabengele to 2-way contract, a former first-round pick who's starting to put it together. He averaged 14 points and 9.3 rebounds and 2.8 assists and 1.8 blocks in Summer League. Then he registered 18 points and a game-high 4 blocks in the Sin City Celtics final game against the Nets. Power forward: Noah Vonleh. Free agent forward Noah Vonleh signed a training camp deal with the Celtics. Noah has suited up for 7 teams since being selected as the number 9 overall pick in the 2014 NBA draft, averaging 5.1 boards and 4.9 points. Even if he makes the team, he'll likely have to scratch and claw to see the floor. However, if the Celtics bigs goes down with an injury in 2022-23, Vonleh may earn a few minutes. Power forward: Sam Hauser. Free agent forward Sam Hauser has agreed to a 3-year $6 million deal to return to Boston. Hauser averaged only 2.5 points and 1.1 rebounds throughout 26 games with the Celtics last season. However, he shined from deep, draining 43.2% of his attempts. While Hauser has a long way to go before he's relevant on the fantasy end, he may earn a consistent spot in the rotation, which could increase his value moving ahead. Point guard, Derrick White. Boston Celtics guard Derrick White gave a performance to remember during Game 6 loss to Heat last season. He was great on both ends and nearly helped his team escape with the victory. White finished with 22 points, 5 assists, and 3 steals. That 22-point performance was the most he scored in one game since being acquired by Boston. He is playing well at the perfect time. Hopefully he can keep it going for 22-23 NBA season. Point guard, J.D. Davison. Boston Celtics guard J.D. Davison are expected to compete for a roster spot this season. These young athletic player who could end up people surprised during training camp in Celtics. However, the Celtics are extremely crowded on the perimeter. At best, Davison might be able to play a few minutes off the bench next season. Point guard, Malcolm Brogdon. Boston Celtics guard Malcolm Brogdon will have a new role heading into next season. Brogdon was traded from the Indiana Pacers to Celtics earlier this offseason. Malcolm was a starter in Indiana, but is expected to be a sixth man with Celtics. Brad Stevens recently mentioned that he wants Brogdon to embrace his role as the sixth man of the team. It sounds like Brogdon is all in and willing to do whatever it takes to win a championship. Point guard, Marcus Smart. Boston Celtics Marcus Smart gets rumored lately the key component to a trade that would send Kevin Durant from the Brooklyn Nets to Boston. Smart missed time during the Eastern Conference Finals because of a sprained right ankle injury. Playing 5 games and averaging 16.6 points, 6.2 rebounds, 6.2 assists, and 1.2 steals. Point guard, Payton Pritchard. Boston Celtics guard Payton Pritchard earned himself elevated minutes in defeat to the Heat due to his offensive contributions, which wound up as an 18-point effort off the bench. Pritchard was recording 16 shots, 11 from deep across 30 minutes, absorbing backcourt minutes and shot opportunities. After hitting a quarter of triples in Game 7 versus Bucks, Pritchard knocked down 4 more threes, this time adding 5 rebounds and 4 assists to round out his stat line, as he averaged 10 points and 2.9 assists per contest. Small forward, Bruno Caboclo. The Celtics have agreed to a training camp contract with free agent forward Bruno Caboclo. He is listed at 6 feet 9 inches and 218 pounds. He played for 5 teams in his 7-year NBA career. Small forward, Jayson Tatum. Boston Celtics forward Jayson Tatum reported that he feels a lot better after injuring his right shoulder during the Eastern Conference Finals. Tatum is coming off his best year, compiling 26.9 points, 8.0 rebounds, and 4.4 assists, and 1.0 steals in 76 games last season. Jayson's name will be mentioned as an MVP favorite ahead of the 2022-23 campaign. Assuming Tatum remains healthy, he has potential top 5 in all formats. Shooting guard, Broderick Thomas. Boston Celtics guards Broderick Thomas are expected to compete for a roster spot this season. These young athletic player who could end up surprising people during training camp. However, the Celtics are extremely crowded on the perimeter. It would be nearly impossible for a player to earn enough minutes to be worth a look in Boston. At best, Thomas might be able to play a few minutes off the bench next season. Shooting guard, Jalen Brown. Boston Celtics guard Jalen Brown wants to remain with the team. Although the franchise enjoyed a trip to the NBA Finals with Brown on the roster, he could be traded if it meant landing Nets superstar Kevin Durant. The deal with Brooklyn doesn't come to fruition, he would almost be guaranteed to stay in Boston. However, Brown has been fantastic over the years, averaging at least 20 points in each of the last 3 seasons. Small forward, Matt Ryan. Celtics forward Matt Ryan signed a 2-way contract with the Boston Celtics. He made his first NBA appearance against the Memphis Grizzlies last season. And here is the potential starting lineup of Boston Celtics in 22-23 NBA season. Point guard, Marcus Smart. Shooting guard, Jalen Brown. Small forward, Jayson Tatum. Power forward, Al Horford. Center, Robert Williams III. Now, what are your thoughts on the Boston Celtics lineup? Let us know in the comments down below.